The stars stretched like silver dots across the black emptiness. In the far reaches of space, far from any trade routes or known planets, a convoy of alien ships drifted silently. The ships were battered, patched together, and barely holding together. Their engines coughed, and weak shields flickered across their surfaces. The crew inside was tense, quiet, and full of fear. They were the displaced, a group of aliens cast out by the Galactic Union. Their leader, Caloran, stood on the bridge of the lead ship. Caloran's skin was pale gray, and their dark eyes held the weight of many years. They had been trained to survive. But even they felt tired. The convoy was small, the resources low, and the enemy not far behind. Patrol ships from the Union had been hunting them for months. Caloran looked out at the stars and let out a slow breath. "We can't stay here," Caloran said softly. "They'll find us soon." Behind them, a young alien named Lyra sat on the floor of the bridge, hugging her knees. She was only 10 cycles old, and she had lost her parents during the exiles. She looked up at Caloran with wide, fearful eyes. "What will happen to us?" she asked. Her voice was small, trembling. Caloran crouched beside her. "We will survive, Lyra. I promise." But even as Caloran said it, they felt unsure. Promises had little meaning when the galaxy itself had turned against them. Far away, in a different part of space, a human exploration fleet moved steadily along a mapped corridor. The lead ship, Horizon, cut through the stars with quiet power. On the bridge, Captain Laura King watched the instruments with calm focus. Laura was known for making unusual choices, often ones that others called risky. But so far, her decisions had kept her crews alive. She believed in life, in possibilities, even when danger loomed. Her chief engineer, Jason Hall, leaned over a console. He was tall, with sharp eyes and a quick mind. He loved solving problems, especially when the ship's engines or systems acted up in unusual ways. Beside him, Science Officer Megan Price studied signals that danced across the screens. Her curiosity often led to discoveries, and she had a reputation for noticing details others missed. "Captain," Megan said, pointing at a faint blip on the screen, "I'm picking up a distress signal. It's weak. Old codes. Someone is stranded." Laura moved closer. "Show me," she said. The screen lit up with signals from an unknown convoy. The codes matched nothing familiar, and the tag read, "Undesirable. Do not assist." "Undesirable?" Jason frowned. "What does that even mean?" "The Union label for troublemakers." "I think," Megan said. "Whatever this is, the galaxy wanted them ignored." "See. Well, meter side." "See. Well, meter side." The bridge crew fell silent. Pilot Chris Taylor shook his head. "Captain, maybe we should leave them. The codes warn us. We don't know what we'd be walking into." Laura shook her head. "We are not leaving anyone in danger. Life matters more than codes." She paused and looked at her senior staff. "We will investigate. We will offer help if we can. Prepare shuttles." Jason smiled faintly. "We can adapt our systems. Whatever they have, we can make it work." Megan nodded. "I can provide medical support. If anyone is alive, we can help." With that, Laura gave the order. The Horizon altered its course slowly, keeping sensors wide, and moved toward the faint signal. The patrols of the Union might see them. But Laura had decided saving lives came first. After hours of careful approach, the humans finally reached the convoy. It was worse than the scans had suggested. One ship had its hull cracked, showing flickering internal lights. Another floated with broken thrusters. Spinning slowly, inside, the displaced huddled, exhausted, afraid. The first human shuttle approached the lead ship. Laura, Jason, Megan, and a small team of humans boarded carefully. Their suits were light, equipped for repair and medical work. The aliens inside looked at them with distrust. Calren was the first to approach. They expected threats, weapons, or traps. Instead, Laura extended her hand, a simple gesture of peace. "We are here to help," Laura said. Her voice was calm. "No tricks, no demands." Calren hesitated. Years of exile and fear had taught them to distrust kindness. "Why?" "No one else wants us," they said. "Because leaving you to die is not right," Laura answered simply. For a long moment, Calren searched Laura's eyes. There was no threat, no hidden meaning. Slowly, they nodded. Jason moved to the damaged reactors. "This is going to take some time," he said. "But we can fix it." Inside the ships, Megan and her team began checking the displaced for injuries and illness. She found Lyra in a small hold. Trembling. "Hi," Megan said softly. "I'm here to help." Lyra's eyes widened. "Why?" "No one helps us. Everyone else wanted us gone. People on Earth try to help when they can," Megan said. She offered her hand, and Lyra slowly took it. While humans worked, Calren explained their story. The Galactic Union had expelled them from multiple worlds. They had questioned the Union, refused to follow harsh rules, or simply existed in ways the Union did not allow. Punishment was exile, and most of the galaxy turned their backs. They had learned that the only thing to trust was themselves. Jason examined the alien systems carefully. He was surprised at how defensive and limited the technology was. Locks everywhere, controls that restricted the crew's own access, and systems designed to fail rather than allow freedom. He began rewriting software to give the displaced more control, blending human efficiency with alien design. Megan spent time with Lyra, telling stories about human planets, about children who had grown up, learning to survive together, learning to care for each other. Lyra listened, eyes wide, imagining a world where humans could just choose to help. It was a new feeling, something she had almost forgotten. Hope. Hours passed, and the human shuttles moved between ships, repairing, healing, calming. Outside, a Union patrol appeared on sensors, distant but moving closer. A message came through, sharp and threatening. "Leave the undesirables alone. Human interference will be punished." Chris Taylor frowned. "They are getting closer. We could be in trouble." Laura remained calm. "We will not abandon life," she said. She sent a message back, firm but polite. "We are providing aid. All life deserves a chance to survive. We will not leave." The patrol hesitated, then withdrew slightly, not wanting to risk a direct confrontation. As night fell across the convoy, Laura stood on the deck of a shuttle, looking at the flickering alien ships. Calren joined her silently. "Why do you help us?" Calren asked. "Because you are alive," Laura said simply. "And because the galaxy should not decide who deserves life." Calren nodded slowly. For the first time in cycles, they felt a glimmer of trust. Maybe, just maybe, not all species were cruel. Maybe some could see value in the weak, the lost, and the forgotten. Below, Lyra curled up with a small blanket, feeling safe for the first time in her life. She did not fully understand humans yet, but she could see that they were different. Their hands were warm, their voices gentle, their hearts willing. The horizon prepared to guide the convoy to a safer path. Shuttles moved back and forth, life support stabilized, and alien crews began to feel a strange emotion they had almost forgotten. Relief. Calren watched the stars and thought about the path ahead. They had no home, no world to return to, and no alliance left in the galaxy. But now, humans were here. Humans who had made a choice. "We have a chance," Calren whispered to themselves. "Maybe this time, we will survive." And so, in the black void of space, two very different species began a fragile, careful partnership. Humans, young but determined, and aliens, exiled and cautious, found a single point of hope. Life mattered. And for the first time in a long time, that belief was enough to carry them forward. The stars were still cold and distant. But inside the ships, a small warmth spread. It was hope, trust, and the faint beginnings of friendship. And for those who had known only exile and fear, it felt like a new world opening, one small step at a time. The human shuttles moved steadily between the horizon and the alien convoy. Each trip carried engineers, medics, and supplies. Inside the alien ships, the humans found damage worse than they had expected. Halls were cracked, lights flickered, and the air was thin in many places. Yet the aliens had survived this long, and their will to keep going was clear. Jason Hall led a team into the worst damaged vessel. Sparks flew from broken conduits, and the smell of burnt circuits lingered. Jason studied the alien control panels carefully. The systems were strange, with colors and symbols unlike any human device. Yet he could see their logic. They designed this for fear, he said quietly to his team. Everything limits access. Everything expects failure. Amen. 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 He began to work, connecting human tools and circuits. Slowly, the ship's reactors hummed with renewed energy. Lights steadied, and life support systems began to regulate the air. Jason worked with several alien engineers, showing them how to adapt human devices to alien systems. The aliens watched in amazement, their eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and curiosity. On another ship, Megan Price moved gently through corridors crowded with displaced aliens. She carried a small med kit and a translator device. She found a group of families in a cargo hold. Children clung to their parents, frightened by every sound and flicker of light. Megan knelt beside them. "We are here to help," she said. "You are safe now." A young girl, Lyra, stayed close. She had been quiet since boarding the shuttle, but she looked up at Megan and asked softly, "Why do you care?" Megan smiled. "Because we believe life is precious," she said. "Everyone deserves help when they need it." Lyra blinked, trying to understand. In her short life, most beings had turned away when her people needed help. The humans were different. Their hands were steady, their voices kind, their actions clear. Slowly, she allowed herself to trust. Colrin moved through the main bridge, watching the humans. They had been ready for confrontation, betrayal, or trickery. Instead, they found calm focus, patience, and kindness. The humans did not demand anything. They did not judge. They simply worked to save lives. "Your species is strange," Colrin said quietly to Laura King when they met on the bridge of the lead alien ship. "Maybe," Laura replied, "but we try to do what is right." Colrin shook their head. "We were abandoned by the galaxy. Everyone turned their backs. And you? You offer help without asking for anything? Because someone has to," Laura said. "We do not follow the rules of fear. We follow the rules of life." Outside, the distant stars were silent witnesses. No one had come to help the displaced for cycles. Now, humans had arrived. Slowly, hope began to grow among the aliens. Jason discovered something unexpected while repairing systems. Hidden in the ship's memory cores were records, logs, and maps showing the paths they had taken while fleeing. They also included notes about Union patrols, surveillance, and secret reports. Some of the data described experiments and policies that were cruel. Calrin had never known exactly what had been done in the background. Now, the truth began to emerge. "These records are dangerous," Calrin said when Jason showed them. "If the Union finds them, it could mean war. They want us erased, and they want the truth buried." "We can protect you," Laura said firmly. "And maybe the truth can help others see what has been done." Meanwhile, Megan spent time helping alien children adjust. She told them about human planets, music, games, and stories. She showed them how to read human symbols and write their names in the human alphabet. The children laughed, played, and began to relax. Lyra smiled for the first time in cycles. As the convoy moved, human and alien crews began to cooperate in ways Calren had not thought possible. Engineers shared knowledge. Medics shared care. Pilots shared navigation skills. There were misunderstandings. Of course, the alien control interfaces were confusing to humans, and the humans' methods were strange to aliens. Yet, each problem solved built trust. At night, when the stars were quiet and the engines hummed softly, Calren walked along the corridor of the lead ship. They stopped at the viewport, looking out at the darkness. Laura joined them silently. "You are worried," she said. "Always," Calren replied. "Even now, I fear what comes next. The Union will not forget us." "Then we must prepare," Laura said. "But we will not abandon you. If they come, they will meet humans too. You will not face them alone." Calren considered this. They had lived their life expecting betrayal, and yet humans offered partnership, not subjugation. They wondered if this was real, or simply another illusion to be broken. The convoy continued its journey. Megan organized small cultural meetings, where humans and aliens shared their stories. One alien elder described the days before exile, when they lived in a world of art, song, and community. A human historian, Daniel Clark, compared it to Earth's history. When humans suppressed cultures and languages, the point was clear. All civilizations could make mistakes, but all could learn from them. Jason worked with alien engineers in workshops. He showed them ways to blend alien technology with human methods. Slowly, the ships improved. Shields were stronger, engines steadier, and life support more reliable. The aliens had thought they were helpless. Now, they felt capable again, but the Union watched. Distant patrols detected the human operation. Messages arrived, short and sharp. "Leave the undesirables alone. Human interference is not allowed." "They will come," Chris Taylor warned. "We need to be ready." Laura nodded. "We are ready. Our goal is life, not war. If they attack, we will defend. If they retreat, they will leave. Our choice is clear." As they approached the edge of controlled space, Calren gathered the leaders of the displaced. "Humans are offering more than repair," Calren said quietly. "They offer a chance to survive, perhaps even to belong." An elder alien shook their head. "We cannot trust anyone. Not after what has happened. Yet they act without fear or demand," Calren said. "Perhaps we can try." The convoy moved carefully, following human guidance. The aliens learned new ways to navigate, to manage engines, and to protect their ships. Humans taught them without arrogance, without expectation. Every lesson built trust. Every repair saved lives. Lyra sat near Megan, listening to stories about Earth and humans. She asked questions about stars, planets, and strange machines. Megan answered with patience, explaining even the simplest things. Lyra's laughter echoed through the ship, a sound almost forgotten in the halls of the displaced. Jason discovered a problem in one ship's core, a serious flaw that could cause a meltdown. He worked quickly, explaining the danger to the alien engineers. Together, they stabilized the system. The aliens were amazed at how humans did not panic. Fear was common among the displaced, yet humans seemed calm even in crisis. "Your people are patient," Calren said to Laura when they watched Jason work. "They do not give up." "We do not give up on life," Laura replied. "It is the simplest rule, and sometimes the hardest to follow." As the convoy moved closer to human-controlled space, hope began to grow. The displaced had survived exile, starvation, and fear. Now, humans had shown them that life could still matter. They had given them shelter, repairs, and kindness. And slowly, the displaced began to believe that there might be a world where they were not just castaways. Kalrin looked at Lyra, smiling faintly. The girl's small face held trust now. She asked questions, laughed at small jokes, and even helped carry supplies. A part of Kalrin wanted to believe that humans could keep their promise. Perhaps, Kalrin whispered, we are not alone anymore. Outside, the stars remained distant and cold. Yet within the convoy, a warmth spread, not just from repaired engines or steady lights, but from human hands extended in friendship. The displaced had been unwanted by the galaxy, cast aside, and forgotten. Yet here, among humans, they had found something new. Welcome, aid, and the faint beginnings of hope. As the convoy moved through the dark emptiness, Laura and Kalrin stood side by side on the lead ship's bridge. Both understood that danger was not gone. The Union was still watching. But now, they also understood that together, humans and displaced aliens could face it. Together, they could survive. And so, in the black void, two species continued their fragile journey. One was young, bold, and compassionate. The other was cautious, wary, and broken. Yet together, they had found a point of light, a chance to live, a reason to trust, and the start of a bond that might change the fate of many. The stars were still far, cold, and indifferent, but inside the ships, a new warmth had begun. It was hope, trust, and the first steps toward a future where the displaced might finally belong. The convoy moved slowly through the quiet space between Union sectors and human territories. The human ships stayed close, scanning for any threats, while the alien vessels followed carefully. Inside the ships, the displaced began to notice changes. Engines hummed smoothly. Lights were steady. The air was cleaner, warmer, safer. Jason and his engineers had done more than repair machines. They had given the aliens control over their own ships again. On the horizon, Captain Laura King reviewed the star charts with her bridge crew. She pointed to a route that would keep them out of Union patrol lanes. This path is longer, she said, but it is safer. We can get the convoy into our space without unnecessary risk. Chris Taylor, the pilot, frowned. Longer means more fuel, more exposure. We have to take the risk, Laura replied. The alternative is death or capture. In the main cargo hold of one alien ship, Megan Price worked with Lyra and several other children. She had set up a small classroom with data tablets, holographic lessons, and books in both alien symbols and human writing. The children crowded around, eager to learn, laugh, and explore. For many of them, it was the first time in cycles that they felt safe enough to play and learn. Look! Lyra shouted, pointing to a holographic star map. I can see Aurora. The planet is beautiful, Megan smiled. Yes, it is. And soon, you will have a chance to live there. Kalrin walked through the corridors of the lead ship, observing their people. There were quiet conversations, small laughter, and a sense of life returning. Alien engineers worked alongside human technicians. Families cooked together in common spaces. Children ran through hallways, playing games that mixed human and alien traditions. For the first time in cycles, Kalrin felt a cautious hope, yet fear still lingered. The Union's presence loomed like a shadow over every system. Patrols moved quietly near their path, and communication logs suggested that some in the Union were watching every move. Kalrin worried that their people's hard-won trust in humans might be broken by an attack. We have to prepare, Kalrin told Laura during a meeting on the bridge. The Union may try to stop us. They want us erased. We are ready, Laura said. Our ships are strong, our crews are ready, and our will is stronger. We do not abandon life. Jason had discovered a hidden storage core in one of the alien ships. Inside were records the displaced had never known. They contained evidence of Union experiments, forced relocations, and secret punishments. The Union had not merely cast them out, they had wanted them removed because they knew too much. Colrin felt a chill as they examined the data. "This is why they hated us," Colrin whispered. "We were not just inconvenient. We were a threat because we knew the truth." Laura considered the information. "Then this is proof," she said. "Proof that your people deserve protection. Proof that the galaxy needs to see the truth." Aye. As the convoy drew closer to human-controlled space, Laura contacted Earth's Central Council. She explained the situation. A large group of displaced aliens, fleeing exile, under threat from the Union. Some council members were wary. They worried that harboring thousands of aliens could anger the Union and cause political or military trouble. Others argued that refusing help would betray humanity's own values. They remembered their history, when humans had turned away from those in need, and the consequences had been regretted. The council debated, but Laura and her crew had already made their choice. They would protect the displaced. Aurora, a human colony planet, was selected as the primary settlement location. It had wide-open spaces, established defenses, and a culture used to welcoming diverse groups. The local governor, Nancy Carter, sent messages of welcome and support. She promised housing, supplies, and guidance for the arriving aliens. As the convoy entered human space, the displaced looked down at Aurora with awe. Oceans sparkled. Forests stretched across continents, and orbital stations floated, like silent guardians above the surface. Some aliens whispered prayers. Others stared silently, unable to believe that a world could be so safe, so open, so alive. Laura arranged the landing sequences carefully. Human pilots guided the alien ships through the planetary shields. Engineers on the ground coordinated with those on the ships. The process was slow, but smooth. One by one, the alien vessels touched down safely on Aurora's surface. Once on the ground, small tensions appeared. Some humans were cautious, unsure about the aliens' presence. Some aliens, bitter from years of suffering, were distrustful. Minor misunderstandings arose. A human trader accused a group of aliens of stealing supplies, though it was simply a difference in customs. Some alien groups wanted weapons, fearing that the Union might attack even in human space. Protests began in certain districts, demanding limits on alien settlement. Laura, Megan, and Jason worked to ease tensions. Megan explained human laws and customs to the aliens, and she also explained alien traditions to humans. She arranged public meetings where both groups could speak, share, and understand. Slowly, the small conflicts began to fade, replaced by curiosity and cautious respect. Meanwhile, the Union sent a formal demand to Earth and its colonies. The message was clear. The displaced were dangerous, unstable, and must be returned immediately. The Union threatened trade restrictions, border inspections, and military demonstrations if humans did not comply. Earth's Council debated again, this time with urgency. Some argued that humanity was too young to confront the Union, and compliance would avoid war. Others insisted that morality and principles were stronger than fear, and humanity must stand for life, even if the cost was high. While debates raged, Jason continued his work with alien engineers. Together, they explored the ship's cores and databases. Hidden within were more secrets. Evidence of forced relocations, suppressed rebellions, and unethical experiments conducted by the Union. Colrin had not known all of it. Now, the truth was clear. The displaced had been cast out not because they were dangerous, but because they knew too much. "We can use this information," Jason said. "If it gets out, it could change how the galaxy sees the Union." Colrin nodded. "But if it gets out, the Union might attack to erase it. Our people could die." Laura placed a hand on Colrin's shoulder. "We will protect you, and we will make sure the truth is seen. We do not hide from danger, but we do not run from it either." As the days passed, human and alien communities on Aurora began to mingle. Children played together, learning each other's games. Engineers shared skills and techniques. Teachers set up lessons where human and alien students learned side by side. Small marketplaces opened where humans and aliens traded goods and knowledge. The displaced began to see that life could be more than survival. They could build homes, form friendships, and teach the next generation. The wounds of exile were still fresh, but hope was growing stronger. Lyra spent hours in the open fields with human children. She asked questions about planets, stars, and humans. They laughed together, shared stories, and played games neither group had known before. Lyra's small heart, once heavy with fear, was now light with curiosity. Calren observed quietly. They could feel the change in their people. Anger and fear were still present. But slowly, trust and hope were taking root. Humans had not only saved their lives, they had shown them that there could be a future where they belonged. But danger was not gone. Union patrols lingered near the border. Their ships were numerous, powerful, and unyielding. Whispers among the displaced spoke of fear and possible attack. Calren knew that the journey was not over. The galaxy still hated them, yet now, they were not alone. Laura gathered her team on the Horizon's bridge. "We are here to protect life," she said. "The Union may come, but we are ready. Together, humans and the displaced can face anything." Calren stood beside her. "We will follow you," they said quietly. "Because for the first time, someone offers more than survival. Someone offers a home." The convoy looked down at Aurora, the planet gleaming in the distance. Buildings, fields, and cities awaited them. Human and alien engineers coordinated landings. The first steps on soil were careful, but joyful. Children ran, families gathered, and hope spread across the surface like sunlight. As night fell, Aurora's skies were filled with stars. Calren, Laura, Megan, Jason, and Nancy Carter stood together, watching. They understood that challenges remained. But for now, life had won. The displaced were safe, and humanity had shown that kindness could shape the galaxy in ways power alone could not. And so, on Aurora, the displaced found the first signs of belonging. The galaxy had cast them out, but humans had taken them in. They were no longer alone. They had a future, and for the first time in cycles, they believed in it.